One scenario that's going to happen to you at some point in your guitar journey is somebody's going to hand you a guitar and say, hey, play something. And you're going to totally freeze and forget everything you know. And you're going to feel like a big idiot. And if that has not happened to you yet, it's going to. And I'm telling you, it's very frustrating when that happens because you spend all this time working on playing, practicing, trying to get ready for whatever, just learning how to do it. But then when somebody actually wants to hear you play something, you don't know what to do. So if that's you, if you can identify with that, you're going to like this video, hopefully. And if that hasn't happened to you yet, it will. It happens to everybody. So I wanted to make this video to let you know that you're not alone when that happens. So, just to let you know that everybody deals with that at some point. It's an awkward thing when somebody says play something. It's kind of like if somebody says, hey, you speak English, say something. Like, what do you say? Hi, Or if you're a comedian and somebody says, hey, say something funny. It's just this, all of a sudden there's this pressure that came out of nowhere and you got to try and perform something. So you're not alone when that happens. And then the other reason for making this video is to give you some ideas for what you can do when that happens. So I remember this one time when I was much younger. I had been playing for a few years. I was at a party and there was this acoustic guitar in the corner of the room. And somebody said, hey, Brian plays guitar. And so they handed it to me and I tuned it up and I look around and everybody is going like this. I don't know. It seemed like there was tons of people. It was probably like 4. But I just remember this pressure, like, oh my gosh, I got to do something. And I didn't know what to do. I strummed a few chords and it was like really, really disappointing. I put it down. And I remember thinking, like, I've spent so many hours practicing this thing. Am I wasting my time? Should I just put it down? And that's happened several times through the years. So if that's you, don't worry. I mean, we've all been there. But here's some things that you can do to get out of that situation. I'm going to break us into 2 buckets. If you're in this bucket, you're a singer and a player. So if you're a singer and if you sing and play guitar, you have a huge advantage because you can sing and strum chords underneath you. And that's I think that's a lot easier than trying to do a composition or something. That's a little more difficult. But if you can sing and play, try and have 5 songs ready to go at any point. And I'm talking knowing all the lyrics, knowing all the chord changes, everything about those songs, totally polished and ready to perform. So you can play them for one person, or if you're at an open jam or an open mic or something, you could perform them with a group. Now, here's a little tip for you. If you're going to do that, pick songs that are easy in terms of chord structure, like a 1-4-5 chord structure, so that if you're at an open jam, other musicians can easily follow along. If you pick, and these could be original songs, they don't have to be covers, but as long as they're like an easy format. If you pick a Rush song, you're going to lose nobody's going to be able to jam with you. But so pick something like Rollin' in My Sweet Baby's Arms, these simple 1-4-5 progressions. Now, if you're not a singer, then it's a little more difficult because now you've got to do all the entertaining with just your fingers. If you're Chet Atkins or Tommy Emmanuel, it's no problem. Those guys are like one-man band. They can perform, and they seem to have no nerves. When I watch videos of Chet or Tommy, it doesn't matter how many people are there. They're as if they're just in their living room playing with nobody. I mean, there's no nerves. There's total confidence. That's a hard thing to do, and most of us are not at that level. And if you're a fingerstyle player trying to play advanced fingerstyle like that, and you have a little bit of nerves, it's all going to lock up and not work. I speak from experience. I've done this. I've been in that situation. So you have to be really loose to be able to do that. So what I like to do, and what works best for me, is to just improvise. And it's not to play another song, at least to get things started. If somebody says just play something, I sit down and I play. I'll just wing it here. I play like a blues, a simple blues in like the key of E or the key of A. And at least it's just sort of like lets the tension out of the air. So you do something like, I'm just making this up here. See, no effort. I'm not rushing. I don't feel any pressure. It feels very comfortable being able to do that. And I could do that for a while, go through a few cycles, and then for the most part, that's really what they're looking for anyway when they say play something. And then I feel like I got to showcase a little bit of something. It's not that you have to get out of the mindset that you're trying to like really wow somebody or melt somebody's face. I mean, some players are like that and can do that well. I can't do that. I just like to, do something very simple and melodic like that. Now, if blues isn't your thing, you can always do the jazz thing. You could play like a 2-5-1 chord progression. So you can play like, and I like to just play the chords when it comes to that. Something like. You can pick the notes. You can pick the notes out of the chords like that, and however you want to do it. But that's simple, and it's still demonstrating some skills, and there's no pressure with that. So that's why it's important to work towards improvising more than just being able to jam with other people. It's being able to jam by yourself like that. And so at Active Melody, I have this whole. Really, the whole tagline at Active Melody, the whole mission is to teach you how to improvise. My tagline is learn how to improvise, not memorize. And that's a trap that's easy to fall into, just to memorize some songs or some licks or something, but then not be able to really use them outside of whatever that context is. So try and learn how to do that. If you haven't checked out the no accompaniment section I have at Active Melody, what I was just doing there, playing by myself with no jam track, I have over several hundred lessons at this point in that style. Actually, I don't know how many. I know it's over 100 that are no accompaniment compositions that you can play by yourself. If you want to find them, you can go to activemelody.com, go to the weekly lessons page, the link at the top, and then there's a category. I've got them all categorized. The category is called no accompaniment. And I wanted to mention that because I know some of you that are even site members don't know about that category. But that's what, as I create these things, I put them in that category. So if you just want to find a song, and I've got all kinds of different styles. There's jazz, there's blues, there's country. You find one that you can play by yourself, and they're at all different skill levels. But they're not complicated. I don't get into the Chet Atkins, Tommy Emmanuel thing that's like impossible to do. This is stuff that's relatively easy in terms of the whole spectrum of playing, but that'll give you some ideas and give you some starting points so that you can have some things that you can play and perform for other people. But then what you want to do after you've learned how to play some other things like that, some other people's music like the stuff at Active Melody, is to learn how to take that to the next level and improvise. And once you can improvise, the pressure is really off. So that's kind of a simple way of looking at it. If you're a singer, you've got to have those 5 songs, at least 5. Some people say 10, but have a little catalog of songs that are ready to go. And if you're not, improvise. Learn how to improvise, or take some of the songs from Active Melody and pick 1 or 2 of those, and then you've got something to get started. And hopefully that'll take some of the pressure off. And you'll realize that you're not that bad of a player. It's just that you cave under pressure. We all do.